Hey, hello out there, VC vinyl community. Tony here from Tony's LPs Are Us. Thanks for stopping by, for stopping in. I know there's a lot of traffic on YouTube, a lot of great content. I'm just amazed at how good my fellow VC community channel guys or channel women uh, make their videos. It's just incredible. Just the craftsmanship, and I just do a straight camera and really no editing. Just most, just from my love of vinyl. So just talking off the top of my head most of the time, taking some notes, doing some research on my topics. But I want to thank everyone for dropping in, and thank everyone for all the subs. We're doing very well, which is great for the channel, and all the likes and comments. I'm really making some great relationships with a lot of folks out there. And the other day, I'm talking to some of my friends, and we're talking, who's in the so and so in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Is this person in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Is this group in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And Tell comes up, Emerson, Lake and Palmer come up, and I always bring up Sir Tom Jones. I think Sir Tom Jones qualifies as a rocker. If you think about his early hits, he was singing rock and roll. He was in the '60s, just a vocalist. So he's a vocalist. He should, there's non-rockers in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, encompasses what I consider good music as well. But we were talking the other day to my friend Pete, and Pete was saying that his brother-in-law Walt, who I know, Walter, giving them a shout out. They said, why don't you do something on Paul Rodgers? Paul Rodgers is not in the Hall of Fame. I go, wait a minute. He should be a triple threat. He should be in the Hall of Fame as a solo artist, as the leader of Bad Company, and the leader of Free. But he's not. Those bands aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, total combined, the last estimate I looked up online was that he was responsible, Paul Rodgers, with these bands and The Firm and with Queen and The Law. He was also in a group called The Law, which I don't have any of that here to show. But he's responsible for over 125 million units sold, not counting singles, but units sold. And I'm flabbergasted that he has not been nominated for the Hall of Fame. And I'll just give you the era here. He was born 12/17/49. He's British Canadian. He was in Free, helped found Free 68 to 73. Bad Company was one of the first super groups, 73 to 82. They sold over 40 million records on their own. The Firm with Jimmy Page, Chris Slade, and Tony Franklin, they sold millions. They were from 84 to 86. And then The Law, one LP in 91. He also had a stint with Queen, not replacing the singer, but you cannot replace their lead singer, but as a permanent, like as a substitute voice for an album and live shows. So he did a show with them from 204 to 5209. He was associated with Queen. He has one album with Queen, 2 live albums, 1 studio, 2 live albums. He has numerous solo albums, the Royal Sessions, which I'll show you. It goes on and on. It goes on and on. Now, when he left Queen, they had indicated, well, he was not here to replace Freddie, but he was here to just help us get through this patch and go out on tour. And I have that one album, and it's fantastic. I don't have the live albums. I'm just going to show you some of the records, and I recommend every record I show you. I recommend the records, and some of the highlights I'm going to talk about are some of the OG pressings that I remember as being, similar to a 45 RPM one step, or on that level of audiophile quality. So, and my question is this: what band, what artist, individual or group do you really believe in your heart that should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and you can't understand why they haven't been nominated yet? So I'm going to start off with just showing some albums here. Free, that's Paul Rodgers. And this is the best of the greatest hits, which is really, really good. That's right there. And then we have Live Free. This is an OG with the flat pressing. It has a little advertisement on the back. I believe this is Island, right there. Oh no, A&M, 10 A&M, OG. Next we have Fire and Water, which is a great album. This has All Right Now on it. This is on A&M. These are domestic. I believe these are all domestic. I know the UK pressings sound spectacular. I do not have those. Here's another Free, Heartbreaker, which is really cool. This is still in the original shrink. This has Muddy Water on it, which he did later on, and I'll show you that record Paul did. But believe it or not, one of the greatest rock, blues, blue-eyed soul, if you want to call it, white blues singer and guitar player and songwriter, songwriter as well, is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Here we have Free at Last. And they do some great things here. Traveling Man, Little Bit of Love. And here's the back cover. This is a OG press. You can see it gets dirty because it has that textured matte, which is what was popular in one time domestically. And then I have this compilation, which I picked up years ago, which is pretty good. I think the originals sound better. This is a Rhino press. And this is a compilation, The Very Best of Bad Company. And I believe there's some new tracks on here when they actually were back together for a short period of time. And this is Bad Company, the anthology, or The Very Best of Bad Company. That's the gatefold. Paul Rodgers. Here's some OG Bad Companies. This is still in the shrink. This was actual cutout, $2.99 Sutton Records. This record did pretty good. I think it charted. It's not one of their best. These were on Swan Song, Zeppelin's label. And later on, we know he teamed up with Jimmy Page for The Firm, which we'll show. This has Rock and Roll Fantasy on it. It's a weird looking cover. I'm not sure who did this cover, but it could be Hypnosis. It's got that Hypnosis look to it. I'll just show you the label. Has an inner. Yep, design and photography by Hypnosis. Thank you, Tony. You do know your graphics. And I'll show you the label, which is the Zeppelin label. And then we have one of my favorite band companies. I bought this in high school, I guess. See the ringwear. This has a lot of great stuff on it. Live for the Music, Simple Man, Silver, Blue, and Gold, Young Blood, Honey Child, Love Me, Somebody. Fantastic. Great shot of the guys in a hotel room. And this is an invoice cover of Romulus with the wolves. I guess that is Run with the Pack. Just get this here. Just going to shut off this phone because if it rings, and I'll be in copyright territory. Another great album, Bad Company. Good Lovin' Gone Bad. Feel Like Making Love. Shooting Star. Call on Me. Anna. Not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Paul Rodgers. So please leave your comments. You know, who do you think should be in rock and roll? Off the top of my head, I named ELP, Tull, I believe, Sir Tom Jones, but this is a bad one. If you think about it, he could have. Bad Company should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're not. Free's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay, I don't think The Firm maybe qualifies for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet, or ever will be. But Bad Company, you know, they set that pattern. They were doing top 20 AM, FM, great songs. The deep cuts were on FM, the hits were on AM. Everyone knew Bad Company. Here's their debut album, Can't Get Enough, Rock Steady, Ready for Love, Don't Let Me Down, Moving On. And I'll give you the lineup here. Paul Rodgers, Mick Ralphs, great guitar, Boz Barrel, bass, Simon Kirke, drums. And 1973, Bad Company. I think they may have been the first group to sign with Swan Song, the Zeppelin label, because the manager, I'm not sure if he managed them or not, the manager of Zeppelin, the big guy. And this was recorded by Ronnie Lane's mobile studio. And then we have some of his solo work. I'm going to go through real fast, and then we'll go to The Firm. This is fantastic. This was just released on Music on Vinyl. And I think these are limited to a certain amount. I'm not sure. But this is fantastic. I originally had this on CD, and it was not available on record. But as soon as I saw this online, I jumped on it. This is an all-star cast: Jeff Beck, David Gilmour, Buddy Guy, Brian May, Steve Miller, Gary Moore, Trevor Rabin, Richie Sambora, Neil Schon, Brian Seltzer, and Slash. And this is a tribute to Muddy Waters. This is fantastic. This is one of my favorite records of all time. I had it on CD, and that's the album. So Music on Vinyl did a pretty good job with this. Sounds really good. Here's the label. Comes in nice black label with plastic liner. But this is really cool, and they're not really expensive if they're available. This is an all-time favorite, OG pressing with audiophile sound. When we got this record, I heard about it, didn't buy it, ended up buying a copy on eBay, and I'm really glad I did. This has, you know, the Stax sound, the Memphis sound, and this was recorded with some good old boys that played with some of the greats. I believe they played with Otis Redding, some of the Stax guys. Let me see here. And this was mastered at Sterling Sound, mixed at Pi Studios in Glen Grove, New York. Has a really nice insert. And this is amazing. And I highlighted this on one of my previous videos of OG pressings with audiophile sound. Here's the label. But superb album. It's been around. It's from 2013, so it's 10 years old, but you can pick these up, you know, used, I'm sure. If you like the music from the rhythm and blues of Stax and Paul Rodgers and that band, you can't beat it. Just a few songs: I Thank You, which was the Isaac Hayes wrote, Walk On By, Burt Bacharach and Hal David, Any Old Way, Otis Redding and Cropper. I've Been Loving You Too Long to Stop Now, which is Otis Redding and Butler. So they were, when the guys saw this little guy come into the studio, they all thought, man, what's he doing here? But they said once he opened up his mouth and got into some of these classic rhythm and blues songs, they go, wow, this guy's a real deal. They probably, you know, were familiar with maybe Bad Company, you know, Free, things like that. But he's been a solo artist for a long, long time. Here's another OG pressing that I recommend you find on eBay, The Firm, but not the LP, The Firm, the 12-inch single of Radioactive. This is a 33 1/3 Radioactive side A. Side B has City Sirens and Live in Peace, Live in Peace. But this record is unbelievable. Here's the actual label. Same as the cover of the Firm album. But in comparison, you do an A-B with the record and the 12-inch, it's not a day. It blows it away. Here's the Firm, the actual album, produced by Jimmy Page and Paul Rodgers. This has Radioactive on it. It's a good album. It's good. It's got an inner. It's got a little, I gotta fix this. And the Firm. It's on Atlantic. But get that 12-inch of Radioactive. It will make your stereo system sing. It's only a 33 1/3, but just the way it's been mastered, just incredible. Here's another Firm. They only had 2 albums, Mean Business. And this is funny. This hard to believe that this is actually an RCA Music Service edition. So probably one of the last ones at the end of the vinyl era or the club era. And here's the inner. This has Live in Peace on it, which we see which was on the EP from a different record. And then he also, like I said, he also toured with Queen, did an album with Queen, which is really good. Cosmo Roots, double record. Here he is on the bottom with the lads. And really nice. And I have to thank Big John for gifting me this. The Cosmos, he rocks. I have to put this on Queen plus Paul Rodgers. So really good stuff. And Paul also did, I think I have it here, if you could give me a second. Paul also did what was called the Hendrix set. It's a live CD. I'm not sure if it's on record, but really, really good. On here, he does Purple Haze, Stone Free, Little Wing, Manic Depression, and Foxy Lady. Paul Rodgers on CD. I don't really show a lot of CDs. Of course, I have CDs. There was a time when I got, into the CD phase. I stopped buying albums. I would replace everything I had on vinyl with CD. And I thought, wow, this is the greatest thing ever. But I realized on a good system that I'm losing so much from just hearing the analog process. And the one saving grace is I never got rid of my albums. I kept my albums even though I had the CD. And this is one I want to get on record when it comes out. As the same with the Muddy Water sessions, the double album with the guest stars, the tribute to Muddy Waters. I originally had that only on CD. And but this is probably online. This is really good if you like Hendrix. This guy, blows it away, blows it up. And I'm not sure who's on here, but if you give me a second, I will check. I forget. But I'm not sure if it's just his band. Here's the booklet, little booklet. And I'll just give you the lineup real fast. I'll let you go. Neil Schon on guitar, Todd Jansen bass, and Castronovo on drums, Dean Castronovo. And this goes all the way back to 93, was recorded at Bayfront Park in Miami, Florida. And it's just amazing. Just amazing. Short set, maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but a real killer. And don't forget the Firm 12-inch Radioactive. You'll love that. You'll thank me for that. But please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Please comment. I want to hear who you think should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for whatever reason. You know, there's so many bands that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that we don't agree with, but other people agree with. I don't, begrudge anyone who's in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is not like the Baseball Hall of Fame where there's statistics attached to these accomplishments and this, to be nominated and inducted. But come on, Paul Rodgers. Anyone my age, you hear that name, you instantly think Bad Company, Free. Now I think The Firm. So thanks a lot. And once again, I appreciate all the likes and all the views. And just keep rocking. And let's get Paul Rodgers and Tom Jones. Maybe I'll do a segment on Tom Jones. I really think he should be in the Hall of Fame as well. And let's do it. Let's get this out there. But keep rocking. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.